Yes, I can hear you.
All right, what's up? What do you want to chat about?
Hello. I just wanted to have a chat about abortion.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so pretty much the first thing that I wanted to address was just with abortion and stuff. You know, it's not illegal. It's just not recognized on the federal level.
Well, it's illegal in like over 20 states now.
No, but what I'm saying is that right is given to the states now.
Yeah, I disagree with that. I think that they took it away as a right, and now millions of people have lost access to it.
No, but in the Constitution, abortion was never specifically mentioned.
There's a lot of things that are never mentioned.
When you look at
So what is the Ninth Amendment to you? Like, what does that mean to you?
The Ninth Amendment?
Yes.
I would say that the Ninth Amendment is that you can't take away certain rights.
Well, so the Ninth Amendment is basically saying that there are things called unenumerated rights. So enumerated rights would be like the First Amendment, right? It's explicit, it's right there. But unenumerated rights are things that are not explicitly in the Constitution, but are still rights, right? So because the founders were very worried about this. They were like, if we write the Bill of Rights, people are going to think these are the only rights that exist. And so they put the Ninth Amendment in there to say, hey, we know that we're writing this stuff down, but there are other rights. And as society grows and progresses, other rights are going to come and be recognized. And it's important that you do that as a society. And so I think that to say that, yes, obviously abortion is explicitly mentioned in the Constitution. I don't think anybody's claiming that it is. But that doesn't mean it's not a right.
No, but then you say that, but then this is what I'd ask you. Okay. What does the 14th Amendment mean to you?
The 14th Amendment? I mean, so the 14th Amendment, we have to remember, so it's coming after the Civil War. And at the time, I mean, the original perspective is basically about ending slavery and in basically saying the states have been doing too much, right? So, because before, a lot of the Constitution was interpreted as limiting the federal government and didn't really apply to the states. The 14th Amendment very explicitly says, I assume you're talking about the Due Process Clause. It says the state shall not deprive you of life, liberty, or the pursuit of happiness, or property. It doesn't say pursuit of happiness, it says property. Life, liberty, or property without due process, right? And so, how do we interpret that? Like, what does liberty mean? Unfortunately, they didn't give us a handbook, right? Liberty is very much up for interpretation. Life is up for interpretation. Property is up for interpretation. And so, with a broad sentence like that, that's going to be up for debate, discussion, negotiation. And in my opinion, from that and from the other principles in the Constitution, you can get an implied right to privacy. And from that implied right to privacy, you can have a right to abortion.
Well, I would personally read it a little bit different.
Okay.
Because especially when it says that pretty much it's supposed to balance the power of the land and protects the individual person. And when I think about that, I extend that to the baby. And I believe that they should be protected. And then when it goes into how, no state shall make or enforce laws which abridge the privileges or immunities of citizens of the U.S., I mean, I feel like we have to include the babies in that. Because when we want to talk about the woman and say, like, oh, her bodily autonomy is being taken away, it's like you could, like, that's an argument to be had, but it's not just her body because she has something living inside of her.
I think the problem you run into is that the 14th Amendment, like, explicitly says born persons.
I don't see that.
The 14th Amendment is like the third or fourth word. We can look it up. Let's look up the full text. 14th Amendment full text.
All persons born or naturalized in the United States.
There it is.
And subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and of the state wherein they reside.
Yeah, so it's the third word, born.
And then the question that I'll ask you is, when you talk about enumerated rights, like, these are people that are going to then be born.
What does that have to do with enumerated rights?
It's not explicitly said, but it's just that we know what they become.
What does that have to? Maybe I'm confused. Maybe could you articulate what you're saying? I'm missing what point you're trying to make.
Okay, here's pretty much what I'm saying. Pretty much what I'm saying is, when they say all persons born are naturalized, like I kind of feel like that's just an easy, pretty much scapegoat for people to say, to invalidate the baby or the fetus and say like, oh well, they don't matter.
I'm just saying if you want to make a pro-life argument, I think the 14th Amendment is the last thing you'd want to use.
I could see that. I could honestly see that.
I mean, because they're it's very explicit. I mean, it goes out of its way.
Man, but I don't know. But I feel like when you look at what people become, I don't know, it kind of loses it.
Well, if you're saying what they become, that means that they are not that currently.
No, but they're being naturalized.
Naturalized. That's not naturalized refers to like the process of like becoming a citizen, like
no,
through like immigration.
Like I don't mean like that. I mean like being born. They're in the process of like becoming born.
But they weren't born. Hello?
Yeah. That's a good point.
Was there anything else you wanted to chat about? Or like any other direction you wanted to take it?
Yeah, the next direction I wanted to take into it was just a moral direction.
Sure.
We're pretty much where people were trying to say that, you know, abortion is a woman's right.
Okay.
And then when I was looking at that, I was just thinking how I can't really see it like that. Well, actually, no, not that direction. I wanted to look into the real reason that people are mainly getting these abortions. And when you look at the real reason people are getting these abortions, it's for, number one, they don't feel financially stable. Some people just don't want to have a kid. Some people are done having children. And I feel like those aren't really viable reasons to not have to get an abortion.
I mean, you can disagree with the reason, but I mean, you know, there's lots of things that I might disagree with, but they're still legal.
But when you say still legal, but you literally just said earlier, in 20-odd states, it's not.
Well, I know. That's why I disagreed with them overturning Roe versus Wade.
Well, then I guess people are going to have to vote for it, you know, in their states. But pretty much all I'm saying is that, you know, even when people want to use rape cases to, quote-unquote, defend abortion, like, people don't realize that rape cases happen at less than 0.5%.
Yeah, that's like, I mean, frankly, it's like the same people that bring up third trimester abortions. They happen at roughly the same rate.
Yeah, and what I feel about that is, like, we can't use the outliers to justify the mean or to account for the entire population.
I understand if you feel that way. I'm just saying that, like, I mean, yes, obviously both sides are going to use the more extreme examples because they think that that is the easiest to defend.
Yeah, but then when using the extremes, we kind of lose the basis for the entire argument.
How do you? I didn't bring that up. You're talking to me.
Huh?
I didn't bring those cases.
No,
up.
I was just saying because you said, like, what direction did I want to take it?
Yeah, what direction do you want to take it?
So pretty much what direction I wanted to take it was just to get into the real reasons that people are having these abortions in the first place.
Okay. Yeah, the number one reason is financials.
Yeah, financials, yeah. So that's what I was saying. And I was saying that the rape cases and stuff like that, those aren't really the reasons. So I was kind of turning this into a moralistic debate.
I know, and I think that lack of financial stability is, yes, it's a very prominent reason. And if you wanted there to be less abortions, you would support things like universal health care and like paid maternity leave.
Yeah, but I didn't say anything about that, though.
What are you trying to talk about?
Like, here's what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is that the top reasons that people are having these abortions, they're not right. Saying that you're not.
Well, you're saying they're not right. Why are they not right? Why are they not right?
Here, let me specify this. Saying that you're not financially stable, just not wanting a kid, done having children, well, it's not right because you put yourself in those situations. And the reason I brought up the rape cases specifically is because a lot of people try to
I understand.
do it.
I understand you don't like that
Let me
people bring those up. They are still relevant. I mean, there's literally a 10-year-old in Ohio that recently had to go to Indiana because she wouldn't be able to get one in her state. So they are real cases. These are cases that matter. But if you don't want to speak about that, I mean, like I said, why do you feel like it's not a good reason?
Why do I feel like what's not a good reason? The rape cases?
No, the reasons you're bringing up.
Being not financially stable?
Financially stable.
Because I feel like even if you don't feel financially stable, the least you could do is have the baby and give that baby up for adoption.
Well, and some women do choose to do that.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that's what people.
But it should be a choice, though.
And that's the thing. I do kind of agree with that. I do believe that people should have choice, should have free will.
Well, that's the whole point. That is the whole point, is that it should be a choice. You can be opposed to it personally, but you can still think, I think it should be the choice of the person whose body it is.
Yeah. Like, that's, what, here's what I'm saying. I'm saying that, yes, it is wrong, but I'm saying that it shouldn't be a choice.
Okay, so you don't think it should be a choice. Okay, why?
Yeah, I don't think it should be a choice. Because morally, it's not right.
Why is it not right morally?
Because, pretty much, in taking the top examples for why people have these abortions.
No. I know. But why, though? I understand we said the reasons many times.
Mm-hmm.
I understand you don't like the reasons, but why? Why is the action wrong? Why is the action itself wrong?
It's because they're not taking accountability for their actions.
Okay, so should someone that likes smoke cigarettes?
Wait, just let me get this point out.
I think accountability is a really bad argument. So someone that smokes cigarettes their whole life, should they not be allowed to get cancer treatment? Do they need to take accountability for their cigarette smoking?
No, but it's kind of different because someone's they're killing someone. Because even in the situations where the woman has to go out and have that baby, say that brings her trauma, she can still get all the care she might need.
Not in this country, no. Unfortunately, no. Unless you're very wealthy, that would be
that's
difficult.
That's one thing that I feel like people should have we should have more stuff with mental health as well.
Yeah, I support all of that, and that's the thing. Unfortunately,
and better foster care as well.
Unfortunately, the party that's advocating to get rid of abortion is not advocating for those things, though.
Yeah, and I know that. So I feel like two things can be true. There's problems on both issues. There's problems on both sides.
But you're not giving an argument, though. You're saying that you just want them to take accountability. I feel like that's not a good argument.
Why is it not a good argument? Because they made this decision.
And someone can choose, I don't want this to happen anymore. Someone could say, I don't want this to be in my body anymore.
Then why did you make that decision? Because people aren't dumb. People know that when you go around having sex.
But here's the thing, right? Here's the thing.
There's always a chance to get pregnant.
There is, and there's also, then they can choose to have an abortion after.
No.
Yes.
Because that's just not right.
Just saying it's not right, I feel like it's not convincing.
Okay, well, can you at least agree with this? Can you at least agree that they knew what they were getting themselves into? Can you at least agree with that?
One, I don't. Frankly, I don't entirely know what that means. And two, I don't think it's relevant.
When they're having intercourse and sex, that they know that there is always a chance for them to get pregnant.
In some instances, they do. In some instances, they do. In some instances, they do. In some instances, they don't. I don't think it's irrelevant in the question, though.
No, but if this is a moralistic debate, then that has a lot of relevance.
I don't think sex is immoral.
I don't think it is either.
But yeah, you want people to suffer for it.
I think that killing the baby is immoral.
I don't think it's a baby.
Well, I believe life begins at conception.
Is a sperm not a life?
Whether you consider it a baby or not, that's not the point because of what it becomes.
Okay, exactly. Wait, really fast. Because this verbiage is important. This verbiage is important because of what it becomes, because it's not one currently.
No, but it's in the process, and we were all once in that process.
Sure, and we were all once in the process of being a sperm cell, too.
Exactly.
So should it be illegal to kill sperm cells?
What do you mean? What do you mean by that?
The exact thing that you're just saying.
No, Can you give an example of that? Like, what do you mean by that?
Should it be illegal to kill sperm cells?
I really don't know what you're getting at by asking that.
Should it be illegal for a person?
No, like, specify like what you mean, like
to expel sperm cells from their body, knowing that they'll die.
Man, I personally see it as different when it's in the body.
Because it's in your body. That's why it's different, huh?
No.
And what do you mean? You said wait, really fast. You said it. Wait, because I think that's very, because that's really no, because that's really I think illuminating. You said it's different when it's in the body. I think that's an interesting way of putting it, because yes, when it's in the woman's body, it's different. It should be her choice. I agree.
No, because it's not just her body anymore.
It's in her body.
Now there's something living inside of her. Because where do we draw the line? Like, where do they get the right to life?
When do they become persons?
No, not that. Just like, because when we say like, not deprive anyone of life or liberty, why is that not then extended to them?
Well, like I said, so I mean, if it's just about a matter of life, why does that not also apply to sperm cells?
Man, I feel like I just gave you an answer.
I didn't understand the answer. Maybe I'm a little slow on this one. What was the answer?
Okay, so your question, let me get this correct. You said, okay, so what about the sperm cells, right?
Yeah.
Pretty much what I'm talking about is when they're adjoined, the sperm and the egg.
But why?
Together.
Why does that matter?
Why does that matter?
Yes.
Because that's the chance for a human to come from that.
There's a chance with the sperm, too.
By itself?
No, not by itself, but a fertilized egg on its own isn't going to do it either.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. Like, when it comes together.
No, but neither of them are going to do it on their own.
Exactly. Neither of them are going to do it on their own.
Okay.
So the situation I'm talking about is when it comes together, which, is during sex.
No. I'm saying a fertilized egg on its own isn't going to become a person.
What are you saying?
Okay, so you're saying...
Are you saying, like, when the sperm meets the egg?
That's conception. Fertilization.
Yes.
Are you saying that's a person?
Am I saying that that's a person when the sperm meets the egg?
Yes.
I'm saying it's life.
I know, it's living the whole time.
Yes, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But the sperm is also living.
Like, what I'm trying to get is what is your argument? Like, are you saying that there's a difference between when it's at 12 weeks as opposed to like 4 months, or is there a difference in your mind? Like, does it make it okay as the longer time goes? Is that the argument you're trying to make?
Well, I'm trying to understand when you're saying it's not okay.
When I'm saying it's not okay?
Yes.
I'm saying it's not okay pretty much the whole way through.
Okay, well, when does that start? When is the whole way through?
Of the woman's pregnancy you're talking about?
So, like, what is that beginning point, in your opinion? Like, of where it ceases to be okay?
I'm saying that at any point. Like, are you asking for a specific time, like week, month? Is that what you're trying to ask for?
When are you saying?
I'm really not getting this.
So when are you... So you're saying... I assume your answer is fertilization, right? Conception.
Where I said life begins at conception, yes.
Okay, but I'm saying the sperm cell is also alive. And so why does it not also apply to the sperm cell?
Because as you said, like it by itself isn't going to produce like a baby.
A fertilized egg. So a zygote.
You were just talking about the sperm cell.
A zygote. I know, and I'm saying a zygote on its own also would not turn into a person. Hello?
Yeah, so like what's your argument? Like are you trying to say like at this point it's not okay? Like is there a point for you that you feel that getting an abortion is not okay?
Wait, can you answer the question? I've already said yeah, viability.
Okay.
Now can you answer my question?
I'm gonna say like I guess I don't know, first trimester. I don't know.
Why?
Because I believe a baby is in development.
But why the first trimester?
I would say the first trimester because in that like by the end of that first trimester the baby's heart is starting to beat and the brain, stomach, and intestines are developing.
Okay, so I'm glad we Googled that. So why do you feel like the one day before the first trimester and then one day after the first trimester, like what changes in that time period? Like why is it okay one day before but not one day after?
No, that's not what I said. You said why the first trimester?
Yes. So I assume you're saying after the first trimester it shouldn't be legal, is what you're saying.
No, I was saying like beginning.
At the beginning of the first trimester?
Yes, because of like what happens. Like,
well, all those things you described did not happen at the beginning of the first trimester.
No, like at the end of it.
So you are talking about the end of it, not the beginning.
No, but it says it's starting.
Okay.
Like that's when it starts to happen.
Okay, I feel like we might not be going anywhere with this. Is there anything else you want to chat about?
No, I'm good.
All right. Well, always feel free to message me